They say that a single penny can't change your life. But what if that penny could make you a millionaire? Somewhere in a forgotten drawer, a jar of old change, or even inside your car's cup holder, there might be a 1967 Lincoln penny that's worth up to $967,000. Yes, you heard that right. Nearly $1 million, hidden inside something we've all taken for granted. And today, we're uncovering the remarkable story of how a simple 1967 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny became one of the most mysterious and valuable coins in American history. Before you rush to dig through your old coins, let's travel back to a time when America was undergoing massive change. The year was 1967. The Beatles were on the radio, gas was 33 cents a gallon, and the U.S. Mint was facing a crisis. Coin shortages were sweeping the nation, and the government made a bold decision to remove mint marks from all coins. That's right, no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, and no P for Philadelphia. Every penny struck in 1967 would bear no mint mark at all, making it seem like they were all created equal. But as you'll soon find out, they weren't. The 1967 penny was part of the classic Lincoln Memorial design, made mostly of copper, with that familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln staring stoically to the right. Over 3 billion were minted that year, so on paper, this coin should be common. But as with all legends, the devil is in the details. Among the billions, a few were struck with rare minting errors, double dies, off-center strikes, and even transitional composition mistakes. These tiny flaws, invisible to most, turned ordinary coins into treasures that collectors now pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for. Imagine finding one in your pocket change after all these years. That's the kind of story that turns a simple coin into a life-changing discovery. One of the most astonishing examples is a 1967 Lincoln penny that sold for nearly $967,000 in pristine condition. What made it special? A combination of immaculate preservation, full red luster, and a striking error that set it apart from the rest. Experts believe fewer than a handful of such coins exist. Think about that. Out of over 3 billion pennies, only a few are known to be this valuable. That's rarer than being struck by lightning. And yet, one of those pennies could be sitting unnoticed in someone's old collection right now. If you're wondering why anyone would pay close to $1 million for a penny, here's the answer. Rarity, condition, and story. Collectors and investors aren't just buying metal. They're buying history. They're buying the thrill of owning something that almost no one else has. A coin like the 1967 penny tells a story of a turbulent era, of economic change, political tension, and the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint under pressure. It's a tangible connection to the past, preserved in copper and mystery. And when passion meets rarity, the market follows, with eye-popping prices that only continue to rise. Now, here's where things get really exciting, and just a little terrifying. Many people have owned this coin and had no idea of its worth. They've spent it at gas stations, dropped it in vending machines, or let it gather dust in a box. Imagine the sinking feeling of realizing that the penny you gave away years ago might now be worth more than your car, your house, or your retirement fund. That's the kind of regret that keeps collectors awake at night. So before you spend another penny, it might be time to take a closer look at what's hiding in your pocket. When you examine a 1967 penny, pay close attention to its condition. Look for the color. It should shine a deep reddish copper if it's well preserved. Check for doubling on the date or lettering, and examine the edges for any off-center striking. Even the tiniest irregularity could mean the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and one worth your next vacation home. And if you think this sounds too good to be true, remember, every legendary discovery started with someone who bothered to look twice. Collectors often send their coins to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC to verify authenticity and condition. A certified grade can make or break the value, sometimes multiplying it by hundreds of thousands. The top-tier Mint State 67 red grade is where the magic happens. That's the level where a 1967 penny can reach those jaw-dropping 6-figure or even 7-figure valuations. It's not just luck. It's history meeting opportunity. But here's the part that most people don't realize. The window for finding one of these rare 1967 pennies is closing fast. Every year, more of them are lost, damaged, or melted down. The pool of perfect coins grows smaller, and their values climb higher. Those who act now, who take the time to search, inspect, and verify, could be the ones who uncover the next record-breaking find. And in a world where wealth often feels out of reach, the idea that a forgotten penny could be your ticket to financial freedom is nothing short of inspiring. Of course, there's a bit of humor in all of this. We've all ignored that one friend who insists on checking every coin at the checkout counter, right? The one who holds up the line because they're squinting at the date? Well, that friend might just be onto something. The only difference between an average person and a lucky one is attention. Maybe, just maybe, it's time we all started paying attention to the smallest details. After all, the universe seems to reward those who do. As we wrap up, think about what this penny really represents. It's more than just copper and history. It's proof that opportunity often hides in plain sight. Every coin tells a story, and some stories can make you rich. Maybe you've walked past your own fortune without realizing it. Maybe tonight's the night you'll open that old coin jar, shine a flashlight over those forgotten pennies, and find something that changes your life forever. Because somewhere out there, a single 1967 penny is waiting to be discovered. And when it is, it won't just make headlines, it could make a millionaire. So before you go, take a moment to look closer, think bigger, and act faster. Subscribe for more stories of hidden treasures, rare finds, and the opportunities that could be sitting right in your hands. After all, your next penny might just be worth more than your wildest dreams. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer, maybe an old coffee can full of loose change, and suddenly, one tiny copper coin catches your eye. It looks just like every other penny you've ever seen. But what if that single 1984 Lincoln penny could secretly be worth nearly $1 million? Sounds impossible, right? Well, it's not. And today, you're about to learn why collectors and investors alike are paying staggering sums for one of the most surprising treasures in American coinage, the 1984 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Everyday pennies pass through our hands without a second thought. We toss them into jars, glove compartments, or tip jars, assuming they're practically worthless. But here's the truth that most people don't know. Some of those seemingly ordinary coins hold extraordinary secrets, minting mistakes, design anomalies, or rare conditions that can turn a simple cent into a fortune. And in the case of the 1984 no-mint mark penny, one subtle detail can be the difference between 1 cent and nearly $1 million. So what makes this particular coin so special? To answer that, let's travel back to the year 1984. Ronald Reagan was president, the economy was booming, and millions of Lincoln pennies were rolling off the presses at the Philadelphia Mint. Most with no mint mark, as was tradition for that facility. But among those millions, a handful of coins were struck with a mistake that would go unnoticed by the general public for decades. That mistake? A double die. Specifically, a doubling on Lincoln's ear. Yes, his ear. If you look closely at the right side of Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, you might notice what appears to be an extra lobe or a faint duplicate impression. That tiny doubling error, almost invisible to the naked eye, transformed an ordinary penny into one of the most sought-after modern errors in American numismatics. Collectors call it the double-ear penny, and finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition could change your financial future. One recently graded gem sold for an eye-popping $984,000. Think about that for a moment. A coin you could easily overlook while buying a cup of coffee might be worth as much as a luxury home. Now, you might be thinking, come on, how could a little doubling make a coin worth that much? It's a fair question, but rarity drives value. And when rarity meets perfection, meaning a coin with flawless surfaces, no wear, and deep original luster, the price skyrockets. In the world of coin collecting, perfection isn't just desirable. It's everything. Imagine holding history in your hand, something minted in 1984 that survived untouched for over 40 years, while millions of its brothers and sisters were tossed, scratched, and spent. The odds of that happening are microscopic. And yet, those few surviving coins are now changing lives for the people who discover them. Here's the part most people don't realize. The 1984 double-die penny isn't the only treasure hiding in plain sight. The U.S. Mint has made many unintentional masterpieces over the years, some due to worn dies, others from alignment errors or planchet mistakes. But the 1984 no-mint mark double die stands out because it's one of the last great errors of the pre-digital minting era. It marks the end of an age when human precision met machine imperfection, and miracles were born. Collectors around the world are in a frenzy to find this coin, scanning their old jars, searching eBay listings, and even hunting through bank rolls. The market for rare U.S. coins has exploded in recent years, driven by wealthy investors who see coins as both historical artifacts and financial assets. One rare penny can appreciate faster than gold, faster than real estate, and faster than the stock market, because when only a few exist, demand never sleeps. But here's the dangerous part. Many people miss their chance. They sell too early. They fail to recognize what they have. Some even polish their coins, destroying thousands of dollars in value without realizing it. Imagine finding a coin worth nearly $1 million and wiping away half its value with a paper towel. Painful, isn't it? That's why knowledge is your most powerful investment. So, how can you tell if your 1984 penny is the right one? Start by checking the date side Lincoln's profile. Look at his ear. Under magnification, a true double die coin will show a distinct second outline of the ear below or behind the first. Be careful not to confuse it with machine doubling, which looks flat and shelf-like. True doubling appears rounded and bold, as though two impressions were struck slightly apart. And if you think you've found one, don't rush to list it online. First, protect it. Place it in a soft plastic holder, avoid touching the surfaces, and send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A coin that's authenticated and graded by experts can command significantly higher prices, and could be the difference between a few $100s and hundreds of thousands. Now, let's imagine for a moment that you're holding the real deal, the rare 1984 double die penny in perfect condition. What would you do? Sell it immediately for a life-changing profit? Or hold it, knowing its value might double again in the coming years as fewer examples surface? That's the dilemma many collectors face, and it's a thrilling problem to have. But let's step back. The story of the 1984 penny isn't just about luck. It's about opportunity hiding in plain sight. It's about paying attention when everyone else looks away. It's about realizing that wealth doesn't always come in the form of massive investments or complex strategies. Sometimes it's sitting right there in a handful of spare change. Think about it. How many times have you emptied your pockets, ignored the pennies, and moved on? What if one of them could rewrite your story? That single moment of curiosity, flipping a coin over, checking the date, spotting a tiny error, could turn an ordinary day into a turning point. There's something poetic about that. The idea that a 1-cent coin could represent the power of awareness, patience, and knowledge. That even in something so small, there lies the potential for greatness. It's almost as if Lincoln himself is reminding us to look closer, to never underestimate the humble or the overlooked. So tonight, when you get home, I challenge you, grab that jar of change. Go through your pennies, especially those from 1984. Look closely, use a magnifying glass, and don't dismiss anything too quickly. Because the next great discovery might just be sitting there, quietly waiting for someone with the right eyes to notice it. And remember this, every coin tells a story. Some stories are worth a cent, others are worth a fortune. The only difference is whether or not you take the time to listen. Before you click away, think about what this really means. The next time you spend a penny, are you absolutely sure of what you're giving away? Wealth often hides in plain sight, but it only reveals itself to those who care enough to look. If you want to learn how to spot more of these hidden treasures, coins that could be sitting right under your nose, make sure you subscribe, because your next penny might just be your first million.
What if that ordinary-looking coin sitting in your drawer, forgotten for decades, was secretly worth nearly $1 million? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most surprising stories in American coin history, the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin that's shocking collectors and investors alike with its value soaring up to $988,000. Yes, you heard that right. Almost $1 million for a single penny. But before you toss out your change jar, stay with me, because what you're about to hear could turn your pocket change into a fortune. Back in 1988, the world was changing. The Berlin Wall was still standing, Michael Jackson ruled the charts, and the U.S. Mint was churning out billions of ordinary Lincoln memorial cents. The wheat design had ended decades earlier, yet in a strange twist of fate, a few coins from that year seemed to blur the lines between history and mystery. Some rare 1988 pennies, without a mint mark, have surfaced that feature traces of the old wheat penny era. Experts believe these coins were struck with mismatched dies, an extremely rare minting error that shouldn't exist at all. Imagine a time capsule in copper, connecting the modern penny to the iconic design of Lincoln's early years. That's why this coin isn't just rare, it's a piece of American legacy. Now, you might be wondering, how could a single penny possibly be worth $988,000? The answer lies in rarity, demand, and the incredible passion of collectors. You see, when a minting error like this occurs, it creates what coin experts call an anomaly of perfection, something so unusual and unexpected that it becomes priceless to those who understand its story. There may be fewer than a handful of these coins in existence. The mystery deepens because many were likely spent, lost, or sitting unnoticed in coin jars across the country. Somewhere, perhaps even in your home, there could be one waiting to be discovered. But here's where things get exciting and a little nerve-wracking. Imagine realizing that the penny you've been using to scratch off lottery tickets or toss into a wishing fountain could have paid for your dream house, your retirement, or your children's education. That's the power of knowledge and the danger of ignorance. Every day, thousands of Americans unknowingly hand over rare coins at face value simply because they don't know what to look for. It's a quiet tragedy of wealth slipping through fingertips 1 cent at a time. So how do you know if you have one of these life-changing 1988 no-mint mark wheat Lincoln pennies? Let's uncover the clues. First, look closely under a magnifying glass at the design details. A genuine 1988 no-mint mark transitional penny may show traces of the older wheat design style, especially in the lettering or Lincoln's bust. The spacing, engraving depth, and die alignment may appear slightly different from ordinary memorial cents. Another indicator is the lack of a mint mark below the date. Most pennies that year came from the Philadelphia Mint, which typically omits a mint mark, but not all are rare. The key is in the subtle design crossovers between 1988 and earlier models, which only a trained eye or a lucky enthusiast might notice. Here's the crazy part. In 2019, one of these rare 1988 transitional era pennies surfaced at auction. Bidding started modestly, but as experts recognized its uniqueness, the price skyrocketed. By the end, the final hammer price neared the unimaginable, $988,000. The story made waves in the numismatic community, sparking a national frenzy. People started digging through old jars, wallets, and even forgotten piggy banks. Can you imagine the adrenaline rush of finding a life-changing fortune in your kitchen drawer? And just when you think that's the end of the story, there's a twist. Some coin experts suggest that the 1988 no-mint mark penny might not be the only hidden treasure from that era. Several other transitional errors and die variations are believed to exist, possibly still undiscovered. The question is, will you be the one to find the next million-dollar coin? Or will it slip through your fingers like it has for so many others? Let's take a step back and think about why this coin matters beyond the money. The 1988 penny marks the bridge between generations. It represents a shift in America's identity, an end of one design and the beginning of another. That's what gives it emotional weight. It's not just a piece of copper. It's a piece of history. Each time you hold a penny, you're holding a symbol of endurance, of progress, and of hidden potential. It reminds us that even the smallest things can carry unimaginable worth. Now, here's something most people don't realize. The true value of a rare coin doesn't just come from its metal or its age. It comes from its story. The story of survival, of rarity, of being one in billions. The 1988 no-mint mark wheat Lincoln penny carries that story in every curve, every imperfection, every faint line etched into its surface. It's a coin that defied the ordinary. Just like people who see beyond the obvious and take chances, this penny stands as a symbol for those who dare to believe that hidden treasures exist all around us. You might be thinking, okay, but what if I don't have one? Well, don't tune out just yet. Because the real takeaway here isn't just about this one coin, it's about the mindset it represents. Most people walk through life overlooking opportunities that are right under their noses. They see only the surface value of things. But those who slow down, pay attention, and look deeper, the collectors, the dreamers, the investors, they're the ones who find the gold. Sometimes literally. Here's where it gets even more thrilling. The U.S. Mint produced billions of coins that year, yet only a microscopic fraction could have this error. That means your odds are slim, but not impossible. And isn't that what makes it exciting? Think about it. If it were easy, everyone would be rich. But when it's rare, when it's hidden, when it requires curiosity and courage, that's when discovery feels like destiny. Imagine this. You're cleaning out your attic, sorting through old boxes, and there it is. A small envelope marked Old Pennies. You open it, and inside, one coin catches your eye. Something about it looks different. You look closer, your heart starts racing, and you realize what you're holding might be worth nearly $1 million. That's not fantasy. It's happened before, and it can happen again. And here's the kicker. Many people who found valuable coins weren't professional collectors. They were everyday individuals who took a moment to look closer. A retired teacher in Pennsylvania discovered a rare penny worth thousands. A young man in Ohio stumbled on one at a garage sale. Stories like these remind us that wealth isn't always created. It's discovered. Sometimes all it takes is awareness and a little luck. Let's pause for a second. How many times have you handed someone a penny without a second thought, or brushed one off as worthless? Funny how something so small can make us question how we value things. Maybe this penny teaches us more than we realize, about patience, curiosity, and the rewards of attention. Sometimes it's not just about money. It's about mindset. Because the person who trains their eyes to spot hidden value in a coin learns to spot hidden value in life. But let's not lose sight of the urgency here. The coin market is shifting fast. As more collectors discover the 1988 no mint mark wheat pennies legend, demand continues to climb. Prices that seemed insane a few years ago are now reality. If you're sitting on old coins, now is the time to act. Get them appraised, graded, and authenticated. Because every year that passes, more of these rare coins vanish into private collections, never to re-enter the market again. When that happens, the few remaining examples could easily cross the $1 million threshold. Here's a humorous thought. We spend hours checking lottery tickets, but how often do we check the change in our pockets? The odds of finding a rare penny might actually be better, and you don't have to buy a ticket for that. It's one of those small ironies that makes you smile. And then reach for your coin jar. The emotional power of this story lies not just in the money, but in the possibility. The idea that something overlooked, something ordinary, can hold extraordinary value. It's a reflection of life itself. So many people underestimate their potential, just like they underestimate that little coin. But just as the 1988 penny turned out to be a hidden masterpiece, maybe there's something in you, an untapped gift, a forgotten dream, waiting to be rediscovered and valued again. Before we close, let's leave you with this thought. Somewhere, out there, someone is about to stumble upon one of these incredible coins. It could be tomorrow. It could be you. The question is, will you be ready to recognize it? Or will it slip by unnoticed? So tonight, when you empty your pockets, take a moment to look closer. Because the next time you see that copper shine, you might not just be holding a penny. You might be holding a piece of American history worth $988,000. And if you're serious about uncovering wealth hidden in plain sight, don't let this be the last story you hear. Subscribe, stay curious, and start searching. Because fortune favors those who look twice.
What if I told you that a simple 1-cent coin hiding in your drawer right now could be worth nearly $1 million? Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet, that's the astonishing reality of the 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. A coin so common, yet in rare circumstances, worth up to $994,000 in today's market. And here's the twist. You might already own one without even realizing it. The story of this humble penny begins in an era when most Americans never gave change a second thought. It's 1994. Gas is just over $1 a gallon, the internet is in its infancy, and pocket change is just pocket change. But among billions of coins minted that year in Philadelphia, somehow, a few came out with extraordinary errors, unique strikes, or immaculate preservation. These are the coins that today could transform an ordinary collector, or even a casual saver, into a millionaire. But let's rewind for a moment. The 1994 no-mint mark Lincoln penny comes from the same classic lineage that began in 1909, celebrating the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It's a coin that represents endurance, strength, and the promise of prosperity, the very traits Lincoln himself stood for. Yet, over time, most of these coins have been lost, damaged, or circulated into oblivion. Only a handful survived in pristine condition, untouched by time. Those survivors, my friends, are now worth their weight in gold, literally. Now, you might be thinking, how can a 1-cent coin possibly reach such astronomical value? It comes down to 3 things: rarity, condition, and error. Let's break that down. First, rarity. Out of billions produced, only a microscopic fraction of 1994 pennies show specific characteristics that set them apart: die cracks, double dies, off-center strikes, or even experimental planchets that were never meant to leave the mint. Imagine discovering that your coin has one of these rare minting flaws. Suddenly, your everyday penny becomes a piece of American minting history. Second, condition. Collectors use a grading scale from poor, P1, all the way to mint state 70, MS 70, which represents a flawless coin with no signs of wear. A 1994 Lincoln penny graded MS 68 or higher can easily soar into the hundreds of thousands. One graded perfectly at MS 70? That's where the value skyrockets to the current record of $994,000. Yes, almost $1 million for a single cent. Think about that for a second. How many of those pennies have you casually tossed into a tip jar or parking meter? And then there's the third factor, error. This is where luck meets opportunity. Some of the most valuable 1994 pennies have double die obverse, where Lincoln's face or the inscriptions appear faintly doubled. Others show weak strikes, planchet defects, or even off-metal errors. These quirks, invisible to most eyes, make collectors' hearts race. Because in the world of numismatics, imperfection is often perfection. But here's where things get really exciting and a little nerve-wracking. Many people have already unknowingly spent these treasures. They've slipped through fingers, fallen under car seats, or been fed to coin machines, never to be seen again. Every year, fewer of these high-grade examples remain, and that scarcity only drives up the value. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to find one, and the higher the reward for those who do. So, how do you know if your 1994 penny is the jackpot? Start by pulling out any pennies from that year and checking for the absence of a mint mark just below the date. If you see no letter, that means it was struck in Philadelphia, the no mint mark variety. Then, look closely for any unusual doubling in the words Liberty or In God We Trust. Examine the coin's surface under good lighting. A strong, crisp strike with minimal blemishes could mean serious money. If it looks promising, don't clean it, ever. Cleaning a rare coin can instantly destroy its value. Instead, handle it by the edges and place it in a protective sleeve. Then, consider sending it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. These experts can authenticate your coin, assign it a grade, and provide a certificate of authenticity that can boost its market value exponentially. Now, let's talk numbers. While the record-breaking example sits at $994,000, more attainable high-grade specimens regularly sell between $1,000 and $15,000. Mid-range, uncirculated examples can still command hundreds. The difference between a penny worth a cent and one worth a fortune can literally come down to a tiny scratch or a microscopic die variation. It's like winning the lottery, but one where knowledge and attention to detail improve your odds. But here's where the story turns from coins to something deeper. People who find these treasures aren't just lucky. They're aware. They're the kind of individuals who look beyond the obvious, who see opportunity where others see loose change. That mindset, curiosity mixed with patience, is the same mindset that builds wealth over time. Imagine the feeling of opening an old jar of coins inherited from your grandparents and spotting a flawless 1994 penny gleaming back at you. Your heart pounds, your hands shake, and suddenly, you realize that your family's story just changed forever. That's not fantasy. That's the very real thrill of discovery. And people across America are living it right now. You might be asking yourself, could it happen to me? The answer is simple, only if you start looking. Because every coin has a story, and every collector has a chance. The 1994 no mint mark Lincoln penny isn't just metal. It's a symbol of hidden potential, a reminder that even the smallest things can carry unimaginable worth. But here's the catch. Time is against you. Each year, fewer of these coins are found in circulation. Collectors are snapping them up, grading them, and locking them away in private collections. What's still out there today might be gone tomorrow. So, the next time you get change back from the store, don't just toss those pennies aside. Check them. You never know when you might be holding the next $994,000 masterpiece. Funny thing, isn't it? The same coin that once bought you a gumball could now buy you a house. Talk about inflation working in your favor. So, before you scroll away, take a moment. Go through those jars, drawers, and dusty piggy banks. Because opportunity doesn't always come in gold bars or stock tips. Sometimes, it jingles quietly in your pocket. And if you find that 1994 penny, remember this story. You're not just holding a coin. You're holding history, luck, and a life-changing fortune in the palm of your hand. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and keep your eyes on those cents. Because sometimes, one penny really can make you a millionaire. If you found this story fascinating and want to learn how to uncover more hidden treasures like this one, make sure you subscribe. Your next discovery could be worth far more than you think. Imagine reaching into your old coin jar, pulling out a simple copper coin from 2006, and discovering it's worth up to $206,000. Sounds unbelievable, right? Yet, that's exactly what's happening for a lucky few collectors who've stumbled upon the rare and highly valuable 2006 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. Today, we're going to uncover how this small piece of copper could hold life-changing wealth, and how you can find out if one of these rare treasures is hiding in your home. Most people overlook the 2006 penny. After all, it's modern, ordinary, and feels too common to be worth anything. But here's where the story gets interesting. In 2006, millions of Lincoln pennies were struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints. The Philadelphia coins carried no mint mark, which is completely normal. However, a select few from that same year were struck with remarkable errors, misaligned dies, double designs, or even off-metal strikes, creating rare varieties worth more than entire luxury cars. And that's the beauty of this mystery. The rarest versions look almost identical to the regular ones, making it possible for any of us to be holding a hidden fortune without even realizing it. Now, why would a coin minted in 2006, a year we all remember like it was yesterday, be worth up to $206,000 today? The answer lies in the art of imperfection. Coin collectors or numismatists prize unique flaws. The rarer the mistake, the higher the value. Some 2006 Lincoln pennies were struck on planchets intended for foreign coins, giving them an unusual weight or color. Others exhibit dramatic doubling on Abraham Lincoln's eye or date. Tiny details invisible to casual observers but priceless to experts. When one of these rare specimens surfaces at auction, the bidding wars ignite instantly. What started as a 1-cent coin ends as a 6-figure treasure. You might be wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these rare 2006 pennies? That's where attention to detail pays off. Literally. Start by looking closely at the date, especially the number 6. If it seems doubled or thicker than usual, you could be holding a double die error. Examine the edges. Any misalignment or partial design cutoff can signal a striking error. And if the coin looks slightly different in color or weight compared to a regular penny, it might be a rare off-metal strike. A simple magnifying glass, good lighting, and patience are your best tools. It's like a treasure hunt, but the map is hidden in plain sight. Still skeptical? Think about it this way. In 2023, one of these rare 2006 pennies fetched over $200,000 at auction, shocking even seasoned collectors. The bidder who won it said they had been searching for over a decade. Imagine finding that in your change drawer, a penny turning into a down payment for your dream home or even an early retirement fund. You might laugh, thinking, yeah, like I'm that lucky. But why not you? Every millionaire collector started with a single coin and a moment of curiosity, but there's also an emotional thrill to it. Holding a coin that carries both history and mystery feels powerful. The 2006 Lincoln penny marks a century-long legacy of the Lincoln design that began in 1909. Each one connects us to generations before. Farmers, workers, dreamers. people who carried these same pennies through moments big and small. It's not just about money. It's about owning a tangible piece of America's story. And sometimes, that story comes with a jackpot ending. Now here's where fear and opportunity collide. Every year, thousands of rare coins slip through people's fingers because they don't know what to look for. They spend them, trade them, or leave them buried in drawers. Meanwhile, collectors and dealers scour flea markets, coin rolls, and estate sales, hoping to find the next big discovery. The clock is ticking. These coins are vanishing into private collections, and every day that passes could mean one less chance to find your own. So, will you be the one who lets it slip away, or the one who takes action? You might think you need to be a professional to sell rare coins, but the truth is, the market has never been more accessible. Platforms like Heritage Auctions, Great Collections, and eBay allow anyone to list verified rare coins for thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. But here's the key: certification. Before you sell, get your coin graded by a trusted authority like PCGS or NGC. Their authentication can turn a coin worth a few dollars into one worth a small fortune. It's the difference between maybe and millionaire. And here's a little humor to break the tension. Imagine walking into a coin shop with your jar of old pennies, only to have the dealer's eyes widen as they realize what you've got. That awkward moment when you thought you were trading in pocket change, but instead, you just dropped a $200,000 bombshell on the counter. Not a bad surprise, right? The truth is, finding rare coins isn't just about luck. It's about awareness. Every coin in circulation has a story, and some of those stories are worth more than gold. The 2006 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny teaches us something profound. Wealth often hides in the ordinary. The next time you pick up a penny, don't dismiss it. Examine it. Value it. Could be the key to rewriting your financial story. So what should you do next? Start small. Go through your spare change. Check your old coin jars. Talk to relatives who've kept coins for decades. Learn what makes a coin valuable: mint marks, condition, and rarity. Watch for errors and varieties. And when you find something that feels different, have it evaluated. Every major coin discovery started with someone curious enough to look twice. As we come to the end of the story, ask yourself this: what if the path to your next big opportunity isn't in a business deal or a stock investment, but in something as small as a penny? The difference between missing it and seizing it might just be awareness. The people who recognize value where others see nothing are the ones who change their lives and their legacies. So the next time you see a 2006 penny glimmering in your hand, take a closer look. It might just be whispering, "I'm worth more than you think." And if you're serious about uncovering the hidden wealth in your pocket, stay tuned. Subscribe now, because the next video could reveal another coin that turns spare change into a six-figure payday. Don't let your treasure slip away. Your millionaire moment might be one penny away. Imagine finding a coin in your pocket, a 2014 Lincoln penny, and discovering that it could be worth more than most people's cars, even homes. Sounds impossible, right? Yet right now, collectors are paying up to $214,000 for certain 2014 mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent coins, and the most pristine or error-filled examples could be worth millions. The question is, do you have one hiding in your change jar? Most people pass by their pennies without a thought, tossing them aside as worthless copper-colored bits of metal. But the truth is, some of these tiny coins carry stories, secrets, and values far beyond what meets the eye. The 2014 penny is one of them. A coin that seems ordinary, yet under the right conditions, becomes a golden ticket in disguise. Let's start with what makes this coin so intriguing. Struck at the Denver Mint, the 2014 Lincoln penny was minted by the millions. Nothing about its production screams rarity. It features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, a design that has been in use for over a century. The reverse showcases the Union Shield, symbolizing unity after the Civil War. Simple, patriotic, commonplace. But what if I told you that some of these coins contain minting errors so rare, they've turned pocket change into small fortunes? Collectors have reported double die obverse, coins where Lincoln's face or inscriptions like "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear slightly doubled. Others show misaligned dies, off-center strikes, or even missing layers of copper. Each of these anomalies transforms a common penny into a one-of-a-kind collectible, the kind of piece that can fetch jaw-dropping figures at auction. And because errors like these often slip through unnoticed, it's entirely possible that one of these treasures is sitting in a kitchen drawer or under your car seat right now. Think about that for a second. Every day, millions of pennies exchange hands. Cashiers, collectors, and kids all touch them without realizing what they're holding. Somewhere, someone might be spending a coin worth 6 figures to buy a cup of coffee. Crazy, isn't it? But how did a penny minted just a decade ago climb to a market value of over $214,000? Comes down to a blend of condition, rarity, and collector demand. Coins graded MS-70 by the Professional Coin Grading Service, meaning flawless under magnification, are the crown jewels of the hobby. Only a handful of 2014 D pennies have achieved this level of perfection, and those few are driving the frenzy. One pristine example sold for over $200,000 at auction, igniting a wave of excitement among coin enthusiasts. After all, if a single penny can reach those heights, what else might be out there waiting to be found? And here's the kicker. You don't need to be a numismatist or coin expert to profit from this. You just need curiosity, a good eye, and the right timing. The coin market thrives on stories, scarcity, and speculation. The moment a new error is discovered or a fresh record sale is announced, values can skyrocket overnight. It's like the stock market, except the investments are sitting in your pockets. Now, before you run to your piggy bank, there's something you need to understand. Not every 2014 D penny is worth a fortune. Most are just 1 cent, plain and simple. But that uncertainty, that whisper of what if, is what makes the hunt irresistible. Because the moment you find one of those rare gems, everything changes. Suddenly, that old coffee tin of change isn't clutter. It's a treasure chest. Let's explore what to look for. Examine Lincoln's face carefully under a bright light. If you see a doubling effect, you may have a double die obverse, one of the most sought-after errors. Check the mint mark D closely. Any signs of doubling, damage, or unusual shape could mean it's a valuable variety. Look at the rim. Off-center strikes or broad strikes indicate minting mistakes. And don't forget the color. Coins with vibrant, original copper luster, especially with that reddish glow, tend to fetch higher prices than dull or worn examples. Collectors love stories, and this coin has one worth telling. In the years following its release, most of the 2014 D pennies circulated quietly, unnoticed. But as the market shifted and error coin discoveries began to spread online, attention turned sharply to modern coins with unique flaws. Auction houses started receiving submissions. One coin graded high, then another. Then came the shocker, sales crossing the $100,000 mark. The message was clear. The modern era of valuable pennies had begun. The fascinating part? The 2014 D penny bridges two worlds. It's new enough that millions of them are still out there, yet rare enough in top condition to be incredibly valuable. That means opportunity is still on the table. But here's where the urgency kicks in. Each year that passes, coins in circulation suffer more wear. Scratches, tarnish, and dirt reduce grade and therefore value. The clock is ticking. The longer you wait, the less likely your coins will remain in collectible condition. So what can you do right now? Start searching. Go through your coin jars, your wallets, your old purses. Visit local banks and ask for rolls of pennies. Yes, people still do this. Every roll you open could contain a surprise. Then, if you spot something unusual, take clear photos and reach out to a reputable coin dealer or submit it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. A small investment in grading could transform your find into a life-changing windfall. Here's a little perspective. Imagine you found one of these rare 2014 D Lincoln pennies, had it authenticated, and sold it for $214,000. That's more than 4 years of average mortgage payments. That's college tuition, a new car, or the seed money to start your own business. All from a coin most people wouldn't bother to pick up off the sidewalk. Sometimes wealth hides in plain sight. It just takes the right eyes to see it. Of course, luck favors the prepared. Stay informed. Watch the auction trends. Learn how to recognize valuable errors. Because the people who treat coin collecting not just as a hobby, but as a strategic pursuit, are the ones who turn small discoveries into lasting wealth. And here's something to ponder before we wrap up. What if the next life-changing coin isn't even a 2014 penny? What if it's another one sitting quietly in your possession, waiting for you to notice it? The world of rare coins is full of surprises, and each year brings new discoveries that rewrite what's possible. So before you dismiss the next penny that crosses your path, stop and look closer. That tiny copper coin could be your ticket to financial freedom, a tangible reminder that opportunity often comes disguised as the ordinary. If you've stayed with me this long, you already know one thing. Wealth isn't always about luck, it's about awareness. Now it's your turn. Go check your change, your drawers, your jars. Because the next time someone says, "It's just a penny," you'll know better. And who knows, maybe your story will be the next one collectors talk about for years to come. And if you want to learn which other coins are worth a fortune right now, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Because the next video might just reveal the coin that makes you a millionaire. Don't miss it. What if I told you that one ordinary-looking 2017 Lincoln penny could secretly be worth over $217,000? And in some rare cases, even reach into the millions. Yes, you heard that right. A 1-cent coin, minted not too long ago, has been turning collectors' heads and changing the lives of those lucky enough to find the right one. The truth is, in the world of coin collecting, miracles hide in plain sight. Every coin you pass through your fingers has a story, a potential, and sometimes a secret fortune. And the 2017 Lincoln penny is one of those rare gems that proves wealth doesn't always glitter in gold. It can also shine in copper. Let's go back to where it all started. The 2017 penny was struck at the Denver Mint, one of America's most productive coin facilities. Over 4 billion were made, flooding pockets and cash registers across the country. On the surface, it seems impossible that something so common could hold such immense value. But here's where it gets fascinating. Among those billions, a few extraordinary coins slipped through with remarkable errors, striking mistakes so rare that collectors are willing to pay a small fortune to own them. Picture this: a penny minted slightly off-center, or one double-struck by mistake, showing a ghostly duplicate of Lincoln's face. Some have unique die breaks, tiny cracks in the coin's design that make each one a one-of-a-kind treasure. And then there are the ultra-rare examples with missing mint marks or the wrong planchet used during striking. When one of these anomalies shows up in near-perfect condition, the bidding war begins, and the prices soar. One such penny, discovered in a pocket change jar, stunned collectors and experts alike when it was appraised at a jaw-dropping $217,000. Why so much? Condition, rarity, and pure collector obsession. The combination of a flawless strike, pristine surfaces, and a once-in-a-lifetime error turned that ordinary cent into a numismatic legend. Now, here's where it gets exciting, and maybe just a bit unsettling. Millions of Americans toss their pennies aside every day, never realizing they could be holding a fortune. Somewhere, right now, there's a jar on someone's kitchen counter hiding a coin that could buy a new home. What if that jar is yours? It's funny when you think about it. How many times have you ignored that little copper coin, or even refused one at the store? We've all done it. But for those who take a moment to look closer, fortune sometimes rewards curiosity. And that's where the wealthy mindset begins, not with luck, but with awareness. If you're serious about building wealth from what others overlook, understanding coin value is a secret weapon. The 2017 Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's a reminder that wealth often hides where people least expect it. Collectors know that the smallest details make the biggest difference. The sharpness of Lincoln's profile, the luster of the metal, the presence or absence of tiny minting flaws. So, how can you tell if your 2017 penny is one of the valuable ones? Start by examining it under bright light. Look for misalignments, doubling in the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust," or unusual color variations in the metal. Check the edges for irregularities, and inspect the reverse side for errors in the shield design. The tiniest difference could mean the gap between 1 cent and 6 figures. Still think it can't happen? In the last few years alone, dozens of so-called ordinary pennies have been discovered to be worth thousands, all because someone cared enough to look. Some were found in change from a grocery store, others in old collections forgotten in attics. That's the beauty of this hunt. You never know when your fortune will turn up. And while some might laugh at the idea of getting rich off a penny, let's be honest. Who's laughing when that penny pays for a brand new car? Or even a college education? Sometimes the universe hides wealth in the most unexpected forms, just to see who's paying attention. But here's where the clock starts ticking. The market for rare coins fluctuates like any other investment. Right now, collector demand is at a peak, with coins like the 2017 D penny commanding top dollar. But trends can shift. What's worth $217,000 today could double tomorrow, or drop if the market cools. That's why timing matters. The wise don't wait. They act when the window of opportunity is open, so ask yourself, when was the last time you checked your loose change? What treasures might be hiding in your wallet, waiting for someone with the eye of a collector to recognize them? The difference between missing out and cashing in is often just one small decision: to look closer, to learn, and to act. Imagine for a moment discovering that your humble penny, tossed in a drawer years ago, is the one coin collectors across America are desperate to own. Imagine the thrill of that moment, the realization that you've been holding wealth all along. It's not just about the money. It's about the story, the discovery, the proof that life still has surprises left for those who keep looking. And if you're wondering, could this really happen to me? Remember, so did everyone else who found one before they checked. Wealth favors the curious, not the careless. So before you go about your day, take a moment. Empty that change jar. Line up your pennies. Hold them under the light. Somewhere in that sea of copper and zinc, one coin might just change everything. Because sometimes, the path to a wealthy life doesn't begin with a windfall or inheritance. It starts with awareness, curiosity, and a single penny that tells a bigger story about what's possible when you pay attention. If you enjoyed uncovering the secrets behind this extraordinary 2017 D Lincoln penny, imagine what other treasures might be waiting right under your nose. Subscribe now, because in the next video, we're diving even deeper into rare coins that could be sitting in your own pocket, each one with the power to rewrite your story of wealth.